I wrote a paper on the theory of common goods and of the theory of stakeholders and the common good, and I said that this was my main conclusion. The theory of common good offers a sufficiently solid basis for a stakeholder theory. Okay, I published this. Congratulations. A lot of people said there are many interpretations of the theory of common goods. For example, Argandona, 1988. That's all. Any criticism? No. Any comment? No. Then I said, well, okay, this is a success, but this is a big failure. Nobody talks about my theory of the common good. Then began several people coming mainly from the field of the social doctrine of the Catholic Church to discuss the idea of the common good of the firm. But they never applied the theory of the common good of the firm to the stakeholder theory. So that they even said, this cannot be a good theory of stakeholders, because stakeholders are look at the how to say the interest of the stakeholders. They are looking for their interest, and common good cannot be applied to this. Okay, then I said I need to comment on this. And I have written other papers, and this is my last paper on probably not the last in the succession of future papers. No? But I continue to think that this is a sufficiently solid basis for a stakeholder theory. But now I am much more unpretentious, so to say. Why? Because, well, I consider the person is very complicated, very complex. Society, business, organizations. We cannot have one interpretation. This is the interpretation. This theory is the interpretation. So that I conceive my work now on this subject as just a cooperation to opening the point of view about the business. Something that Professor Tapi said before was one of the many points in several schools, not many of them, and especially in ESSEC. My proposal will be then to be humble on this. This is not a definite. We cannot have a definite contribution on this. Second, to learn from other disciplines, other focuses, other point of view. I think it's very important. This interdisciplinarity is key. Three, be very critical on our own ideas. Otherwise, we will be wrong easily. And finally, to work with other people. I think this is very important. If you take these four conclusions as the conclusions of my presentation, I will be very happy if you agree with them. Otherwise, we can discuss on the subject. Okay, let me explain which is how do I think about the subject now? And I won't develop here a theory of the common good. There are many books, articles, and so. But I will take my focus is how can we explain stakeholder theory from the point of view of the common good? Well, look, I am looking for remuneration. I am a potential employee, and I seek for remuneration. So that I know there is a production process, for example, the production process of knowledge in a business school, and I say, okay, I can perhaps get money from this, and I contribute with my work to this process, this organization. Okay? The result of this is the production of goods and services that consumer receives, and say, okay, this is good. I will give my money to the organization, so that the organization may pay the remuneration to that professor. Okay, this is our standard way to understand, the standard way we economists have to understand what's happening in the firm. This is a standard. I put. Want for more remuneration, I get less remuneration, but well, okay, it's more or less in the area of what I had considered. But the problem is that we have considered only one kind of goods here: the service of my teaching, or the service of my research, or the service of the manager, or the service of or the product of I don't know, shoes, cars, and any other. Defined good is that at which all things, all people aim. And this means there are many different goods, not just material goods, not just goods and services that we produce. So let's look at this. I seek remuneration, okay, but I seek also satisfaction, operational learning. What are you doing here? Oh, it's a good place to work. I enjoy it. I really go home every day. So, okay, it's a good day. And I learn a lot. Of course, we professors are learning a lot. And also, look, results for other people. I would like that the owners of the company receive a good profit. I would like that my colleagues enjoy also a good work. So that this is good for them also. Look, we are not looking just for one kind of good, but for many kinds of goods. I separate this for reasons that we will comment briefly. Okay, then now there is a production process, so I go there and say, would you like to receive my work? What can I do? Offer my work, also my knowledge, abilities, capacities. It's inside my work, okay. And also my virtues. I like to work, I am cooperative with other people, I offer my services to other people, I am not, okay. And then again, we go to the consumer enjoys this and say, I give you the money and you give the money to my person. Okay, but what's happening with the other goods? I am selling to the process, to the company, to the organization. I receive also satisfaction, not exactly the one I was thinking. Think, for example, in the morning, you go to work and say, okay, today I will, and in the end of the day you say, no, I didn't. I received more or I received less, I don't know, but I received some satisfaction, some enjoyment, abilities, capacities, virtues. And I don't know if this is produced by the organization or produced by myself. Sometimes it's produced by the organization. I go, and a colleague tells me, look, my theory, this and this and this, I learn from him, from the organization in this case. No? But sometimes I am thinking, okay, but this is important. No? I may perhaps look at this connection between facts. This is something I produced myself, not alone, with other people. When I go to the students, propose something, and the students criticize me, I come back to my office and say, "Oh, this is not correct. Why? I am producing the learning myself." So there is a process of auto-production of goods and reception of goods from the others. This is why this variety of arrows. Well, there are also goods for other stakeholders. Because I came here to offer my services to other people, to help other people, to devote time to other people, so that this means that you receive also, not only the consumers, but also other stakeholders, people in the community, I don't know. Okay, look, here, excuse me, here we talk about the production process, and we left the whole area open. And this is what we are interested now. But I said I was presenting the things from my point of view, the point of view of one stakeholder that goes to the company, to the organization, to offer something. Okay, let's go then to put some order in the previous slide. Members are stakeholders, owners, employees, managers, probably suppliers, sometimes also clients and consumers, local community. All these people look for extrinsic goods. I am looking for remuneration. This is extrinsic. This is material. I have a number of euros every month as the payment for my work. Intrinsic. Knowledge, capacities, satisfaction, these are inside myself. They are not produced, they are produced with cooperation of other people, but I don't receive them, I receive them inside me. I cannot differentiate these goods from my person. I can differentiate. I go and receive the jury says, no, give them to my wife. Yeah? But I cannot say, give my knowledge, my satisfaction to my wife. This is mine. And then this, I'm looking things for other people. Some of these goods are private, others are common. Private means not shareable. I cannot share, shareable. I share my money. I receive my money, you cannot have my money. If I give you my money, I don't have my money. Thus, I cannot share my money. Either I consume or you consume, but both cannot consume the same glass of beer. Intrinsic may be private or common. The knowledge may be mine, but I also share the knowledge. I have an idea, I open to my mind to you, and now we all them share the same idea, share the same demonstration, share the same idea. And for other people, these are always common, because what I do, I contribute. What I seek, what I contribute. The first are what we call in the terminology of common good, potential or anticipated common goods. These are very important because these are the keys of our motivations. Why do you work? Because I want salary, because I want knowledge, I want opportunities of career, I want to serve other people, I want to be useful to society. Different motivations that we sometimes don't consider in business, but they are very important. Sometimes you say people, please stay two more hours, and say, how much will you pay me? Extrinsic motivation. They want money. Sometimes you say, it's good for the company. Yes, I will stay. I will pay you. Forget. I am not interested in paying. I am here because I like this. This is a good idea. This is not extrinsic. And we need to consider this. Look, I am proposing you, so to say, a theory, not of the common good. Common good is one part of this. A theory of goods is a theory of stakeholders. There are a variety of goods, and this means something important. Okay, then we contribute. I contribute with extrinsic goods, labor, capital, with intrinsic goods, knowledge, capacities, and with transcendent, not in the meaning of spiritual, but in the meaning of the transcend the person, go outside the person. I call this evaluating learning. This is the key of the virtues. When I understand, if I do this may help me to continue doing these things in the future, to be better prepared, best prepared for getting better results in the future. This will contribute to a better organization. People will be more happy and more productive also, more efficient. I am thinking in results that go outside this moment. And this is the key of virtues. Why should you be not a liar? Because if you lie, you make very difficult your next decisions, because your next decisions will be uncertain. Is he a liar or not? If he is a liar, I cannot trust him. But if he is not a liar, then I can trust him. Which is my attitude toward this person? If he has developed the virtue, he or she may say a lie, but usually you may trust him or her because he or she is not a liar. Okay, then go again to the production process, the black box of the production process, and then all members receive extrinsic good. I receive my remuneration, knowledge, capacities, satisfaction, transcendent goods, virtues. I insist. This doesn't mean that the society, the company makes me virtuous. The company offers me the possibility of being myself virtuous. I can be virtuous in the organization or not, and the organization may help or not me, but these are different processes, so to say. And other stakeholders receive goods, so that Now go to another slide, the slide of the other stakeholder, and say, okay, here I am, I participate in this process, I am the owner, I put my capital in here, and I receive a remuneration, my profit, I receive also satisfaction for my work, I learn something about the business, I develop virtues, I put in this in risk to help other people. So that we have many different slides explaining the attitude of a lot, the results of the process in a lot of people. Okay, and then, hey, the process continue. This means that tomorrow I will come back to my school to ask for remuneration, knowledge, capacities. Eh? And as this is a dynamic process, it should be always active, always cooperative, always producing new goods. And your decisions today produce results that you will perceive in the future, not now. Your knowledge will be useful perhaps in 10 years from now, and your abilities next week, and your virtues all your life. Good. What does this mean for the process, the company, the organization? The key here, I think, is the idea of the collaborative action. The key is that this is a process in which people cooperate. You bring capital, I bring my abilities as a manager, the other people brings work, this produces supplies. All this is a cooperative process, and this process has an objective dimension, the satisfaction of needs. That means probably the role of the firm in society. Here we connect with the school society. What are you doing? Which is this company for? Which is the goal of this company? Which is the purpose of this company? What I like to present as the external mission, the mission of a company towards society, and then the subjective mission. All we need to participate, all we need to go inside the same building, virtual building now, and cooperate, you and me, with the producer of the computers, with the people that bring the money, with the suppliers, all them to produce. And this means also that we produce private non-shared goods and common shared goods. And this is the key, the production of all these goods. I talk in my paper about the common good of a company, but I cannot define it. I understand there is a lot of common goods, and sometimes one of these common goods is more important. We say the common good of the company is this one, but next week will be different probably. We cannot say the common good of the company. Take note. First, second, third, these are the three common goods of the company. No, they will change because the conditions are changing, people are changing, the demands are changing, and I think this is important. No? Well, how can I define this common good of the company? These are some details that I put in my paper. It should be intrinsic and transcendent, not extrinsic, not the money, not the capital, not the machines. Why? Because they cannot be shared. But you can use this to produce common goods. Unless I have the machine, I have the computer, I cannot produce the goods, also the goods shared with other people, also the transcendent goods. So that private goods are very important because they contribute to the production of common goods. But we enjoy the common goods. This is the difference. The common goods should be oriented to the person, not to the company, not to the process, not to the profit, but to the person. They should be intrinsic, knowledge, satisfaction, capacities, abilities, or virtues, evaluative learning. The key is the sharing. Are you really ready to contribute, to give us something? Then you participate. And this is the key, I think, of the production of common goods. When we meet together here and we share our ideas and devote our time, our attention, or criticisms to other people, we are contributing to the creation of common goods. We are creating a common good here. And I think this is very important. The idea of no proportionality means that I may look for a proportion between what I give and what I receive. How many hours? How many euros? No, it's no. I want more euros. No, you need to provide more hours. There should be a proportionality in this. There cannot be a proportionality in knowledge. How much knowledge did you acquire today? How much knowledge? You came this morning. You bring here this knowledge, and you receive so much knowledge. There is a proportionality. There is no idea of proportionality in the knowledge I give and I receive, the capacities I give and I receive, the virtues I give and the virtues I develop. So that I put this idea of the logic of gifts. That it's one of the mantra of the Caritas in Veritate, the encyclical of Pope Benedict XVI, because we in business need to consider this a lot, because this idea of this is a logic of giving without expecting a specific result of this. I give you because this is good for me and for you and for society. I give you my time, my knowledge, my sympathy. I don't know. And this is something that we need to consider in the companies. Produced by all and potentially shared by all. We need the contribution of all. This is a duty of a lot of people and a right of a lot of people. But again, your duty is not related to my God. How much do I receive? How much do I pay? No. You are a potential consumer of these common goods. I use here in my paper a very provocative economic terminology, producing common goods and consuming common goods. This probably to the philosophers will mean heresy. But I think it's important to understand this. And the idea that this overflow to other stakeholders is the idea of the connection of the common good of the company with other common goods. I said before, we have the slide of my contributions and the slide of your contributions, other people, and all the society has their own slides, all of them connected. This means that my producing and consuming of common goods overflows to other people. Not necessarily. Perhaps I am acquiring a virtue, and you are not acquiring this virtue. Sorry. It's a pity, but sometimes I am not producing a virtue, but you learn, I don't know, you learn to be patient. Well, Professor Argandona is telling the whole place. It's not interesting for us, but I am developing the virtue of patience because you are so patient with me. Okay, let's go quickly to the final slides. How do I relate this to the stakeholder theory of the common good? Remember what I said before in the beginning. When I think this connected with the theory of the stakeholders, I am thinking that it helps us to understand what is the theory of stakeholders, what should be the role of stakeholders in a company, and finally, what is a company, what is a firm, what is an organization, and what does this mean to be a manager, to manage a company? I think this is the important, because the theory of stakeholders, unfortunately, we need to publish a lot of papers about, I don't know, an empirical examination of the role of stakeholders in, okay, good. But finally, all this is focused on, can I explain people how to better manage the company, to be a better manager, to have a better company, a wonderful company, a really useful company. Okay, first idea, and I put here only 5 or 6 of them. Who are the stakeholders? My answer is those who contribute, produce, receive, or share goods. Or bad. You are suffering the pollution of my company. Sorry, I'm giving you a negative good. So that you are my stakeholder, you are receiving a good, a negative good in this case. No? This is different of other, no, probably it's the same of the many lists of stakeholders in many textbooks. But it's a different way to looking at them. They are stakeholders because they contribute, receive, produce, share, goods. And the categories of stakeholders may be revised. I don't intend to do this according to this. Stakeholders that produce goods, stakeholders that share and consume goods, stakeholders that don't produce but receive, outside the stakeholders. They are different. Okay, they are different, but they are also stakeholders, right? They receive. This means that in a way, the company as a stakeholder is a company of society, because we are telling people all your actions are relevant for all the other people. Because if you learn to lie, you are a liar. This be bad for everybody in society and now in the future, so that you cannot be a liar. Okay. Which goods or values? I propose this distinction between extrinsic, private, intrinsic, and transcendent. And some of the intrinsic and transcendent are common in the meaning of share. Share. Private goods allow trade-offs. Common good not. Why? Because I said you before. I would like to receive more salary, but I enjoy very much this work. I trade off a few euros of my salary for a better situation of the company, less time of travel, better environment, good colleagues. With common goods, you cannot do this. You cannot say small lies and more humility. Nonsense. You cannot make trade-offs in this is very relevant, because if you remember, for example, Edward Freeman talking about trade-offs, and he said in one moment, you cannot. He put this in the normative side. You cannot present the theory of stakeholders as a theory of trade-offs among stakeholders. He doesn't say that there are no trade-offs. He says you cannot present the relationship with the stakeholders as a theory of trade-offs. How much money should I pay you in order to get you more of this or that? This is not the good way to present the theory of stakeholders. There are no opposition between stakeholders and common goods. They may be opposite. If you get better salary, my profit is lower, clearly. Or not, but maybe. But if you are more virtuous, I may be more virtuous, or less, I don't know. There is no opposition. Your virtues don't destroy my virtues, are not opposite to my virtues. Why take part? Because there are these different motivations. And when we consider this, our theory of managing the company is very broad. Probably a very good manager considers this. But usually we go to the first one, extrinsic motivation. How should I pay you in order to get? And we realize immediately that this is a mistake, but I don't have more tools, more instruments to manage this. The key is the participation, I told you before. And then rights and duties, you receive rights and duties according to the goods. And this is a shared responsibility. I think this is very, very important. Then the idea of sharing common goods is related to the creation of common goods. I cannot share the common goods of the company unless I create. This is not right. I realize now that you can share many common goods of the company because you are an outsider stakeholder. They receive many of the good consequences of the company. It's a blessing to have in this community this company. Did you give something? No, just I live here. But it's a blessing to have a company because this is good people, committed. They are contributing to the local community. Excellent. Okay. And my last slide. This is connected with an ethical theory of stakeholders. But look, this is not an ethical theory of stakeholders. It's a theory of stakeholders. It's an interpretation of the theory of stakeholders. That is ethical and economic, but with a broader economy that gets away from just extrinsic motivation in the production of material not material but common goods in the market, but opens to other motivations, to other, the creation of other goods, etc. No? The question mark here is that I am not sure that this is compatible with any ethical theory. Any ethical theory, because there are ethical theories. Think, for example, in utilitarianism. It's very difficult that within a utilitarist point of view you may develop this idea of goods, because always you are looking which are the measurable, tangible results for me. And it's very difficult to have the idea of creating goods, non-trade-offs among goods, non-opposition between goods. When are you thinking from this point of view? But okay, this is another thing. It's also a theory of the film, clearly. The idea is the film is a community of people. It's a community of assets. Yes, of course, you need assets. It's a community of contracts. Of course, an excess of contracts, clearly. But it's not only a set of assets, a set of contracts. It's much more. It's a set of persons. Persons with different motivations. Motivations that are changing. The problem of the stakeholder theory is sometimes we said the employees want remuneration, good conditions of work, safety. I don't know. They want many different things. And they are changing. At 8 in the morning, they are expecting something of the company. And at 11, they are tired and they expect another thing. And when they leave in the afternoon, the conclusion is very different of what they had in the morning. So that we cannot abandon the idea of a community of people with a variety, the imprevisible variety of results of this. And finally, the idea is that what is management? The coordination of people to get common goods. People with different motivations, I need to put all of them together to get the common goods. These common goods means the creation of private goods, of course, excellent goods for the consumers should pay, good administration, efficiency, good machinery, innovation, whatever you want. But the idea is we need the creation of these common goods in the company. If we are not creating common goods, this is a market. This is a market in which I give you this, you give me this. There is a proportionality between the price of my shoes and the shoes you gave me. Okay, that's all. There is a common good. Perhaps the smile of the client, the smile of the. But no, this is different. The idea of helping the stakeholders to create goods, and the final idea of not continuously redefining the project. This means that, what I said before, there is not a list of 83 things to do to have the common good of a company. This is something common also with the political or social theory of the common good. Because sometimes we ask, which is the common good of the government? Look, the government needs to attend to this and this and this and this and this, and now. This is part of the common good, of course. In the company, a part of the common good is to have a good atmosphere of work for employees, a good service to the clients, and many other things. But this is not the common good. The common good is much broader. No? Well, okay. Which is the final conclusion? I am not sure that this is a definitive approach to the. I'm sure that this is not definitive, but it could help a lot, especially if we have the opportunity to propose our students that instead of looking at the company always in the same sense, they need to put different focuses. And I think this is very good. We are doing this. When the professor of operations said one thing, and professor of marketing said another one, professor of finance said another one, this, okay, there are different things. Yeah? But this is, I would say, a more synthetic way to think. And now you probably will have some comments, criticisms, or questions to do.
Thank you very much.